So we're in Sharei Kedusha. I think we're in 22. Chaf Bet Oti LaTorah Shoarim. Our limud in the works of our Chaim Vital. Be a schut for all of us over here. Tikkun HaYesod. Amen. We go up in the Torah, Mifrotu Ma'asim Tovim, and we be zocheh ledor Yesharim, dor Yeladim Tzadikim. Ichut Yamin L'Shem Yitbarach V'Shanim. And we always be saved from Ayin Hara.
Amen.
Like it says by Yosef, Ben Porat Yosef, Ben Porat Alei Ayin.
Amen. That was my
fish. Why give us a blessing like fish?
And I was in an engagement, and Bukharians have a custom I think they should abolish. When they get engaged in Echorei, so they give gifts, a lot of gifts to the bride, this, that, or the richer the family, the more they like to show off. And I don't think that's a good thing to do. It's not because of that. I'm talking spiritually. Spoiling is one thing. I think too much gifts. Too much eyes.
Give it privately.
It's not healthy.
Give it privately.
It's not a healthy
we
thing.
do it in private.
People speak about it almost always after a time. It's not healthy. Not lali. I'm talking about gifts they give. Watch.
Yeah.
It's not healthy. It's not healthy. I don't agree with it.
They just give, don't announce.
And ובספר הזוהר הקדוש, פרשת שלח לך, הכי כתב Rav Metifta. There was one neshama that was revealed. His name was the Rav Metifta. And he says, this Rav Metifta, Zaka'a ihu, blessed is the one, man de'az'er garme b'hai alma. Listen, I try to say this every day. One who makes himself small in this world. Blessed is this person. Kama ihu rav ba'hu alma. How great is he in the next world. Man de'ihu za'er, one who is small, ihu rav. He is actually great. Man de'ihu rav, the one who's great here, ihu za'er. He's small over there. Ot sham beparashat teruma. Amai ikre Yecheskel ben Buzi. How come the prophet Ezekiel, we call his father's name was Buzi. His father's name was not really Buzi. Buzi in Hebrew, milashon baz. From the word to belittle yourself, to make yourself small. Al de'ava mevaze garme legabe man de gadol mine. He used to put himself down in front of somebody who was great. In front of one who was older than him in years. That's why when the prophecy, God always calls him Ben Adam. You're a human being. No other human being was called a Ben Adam. Only Yecheskel ben Buzi. Ram. He also has another name called Ram. Ram is great, lofty. Yecheskel. That's my son's name. Berachel habuzi mi mishpachat Ram. Berachel, the Buzite. From the family of Ram. Why is the Torah corresponding water? Thank you. You take care. Water never goes up. Water always goes down. Remember, Torah only rests one who has a small spirit. One who has a humbled spirit. Ashrei mi she'eno kotzef. Great is the one that doesn't get angry. Verucho nemucha. His ruach is small. Namuch. Ushfela harben. Very belittled. V'ken hu omer. So does King David say. Zivche Elohim. The sacrifices of God is not korbanot. Rather it's a ruach nishbera. A broken soul. Ashrei mi she'ma'arich hakol. Blessed and praiseworthy is the one who carries a lot of burden on his shoulder. V'noseh hakol, and he's able to handle everything. L'rtzon bor'o, for the will of his creator. V'oseh atzmo k'shirayim, he makes himself like that leftover food on the plate that you don't want to eat. V'ken hu omer an God, also by God it says, noseh avon. V'over al pesha l'sherit l'chalato. Also God is his midah, is to handle everyone's averot. That's one of his revealments in this world, that he handles all of our averot. But on one condition, you have to make yourself also like shirayim. Ashrei Adam, listen to these words, they're very tough words. Avraham and Rachamim. Look at this. You know, I want to tell you guys a small dream that I had. I don't know if I should be worried about it. It's not the first time I have a dream like this. And yesterday, after I came back from the party that I was in, obviously when you go to a party, there's always people over there not dressed so nicely. Even if it's religious, this, that, you know, it's all a show and everything. Baruch Hashem, no kaf chova in Klal Yisrael, obviously. I'm only talking about myself. So I went to sleep, and in my dream, in my sleep, it's not the first time I have this dream. I'm in a shul, and I take out the Sefer Torah to read.
By yourself or with just people?
There's a people, there's a minyan. I take out a Sefer Torah, and in the Sefer Torah, I start to read. I get called to an aliyah, and I read. And I started to see that a lot of letters are missing. And I tell the Rav over there, I said the Torah is pasul. So I tell him, can I take out the second Sefer Torah? He tells me to put inside the Sefer Torah. And he doesn't take out the second Sefer Torah. What does this mean? It's not the first time I see something like this. I've seen this many times. Maybe
Tikkun is done of the reading the Sefer Torah.
Then you wake up.
So it's a sign. You gotta. Sometimes even the smallest things that you do, you think you're not doing something in Shamayim. It's as if you're making your Sefer Torah, which is your Neshama Pasul. Look at this. A small kid.
I think I know that.
A small kid. How did he see in dream that in the school that he such a thing? How such a thing Hashem sends to people? You see, there's truth out there, Rabotai. Nothing is a coincidence. Look what Rav Chaim Vital. Look what Rav Chaim Vital says over here. And it's so hard to do this, but I'm telling you, once you're gonna learn how to do it, you're gonna be such a happy person in life. Ashrei Adam sheyasim atzmo afar. Praiseworthy is the man who makes himself like the dirt under a person's feet. Shehakol yirmesuhu, that everyone stamples and tramples on him. And you will be like the lower level that everyone always stomps on him. And the small nail, but that everyone puts their jackets on it, you know? On the wall, like everybody puts their baggage on them. What's the level of having a ruach nemucha? Having a small ruach. Hakas! Right after he talks about what's the opposite of that. Ka'as, anger. Hu anaf haga'ava. Ka'as is not really its own midah. Ka'as is the child of ego.
Really?
Because without gava, you don't really
V'shakul kamo, and it's one of the only midot that is equal to its father midah. V'amru raboteinu kol ha'koes, one who gets angry, kol minei pur'aniyot shel gehenom sholtin bo. All kinds of gehenoms are on him right now.
Controlling him.
Yeah. V'amru raboteinu, the funny thing is, today's Chok Yisrael was talking about this in the Gemara, Masechet Shabbat. Amru raboteinu, Masechet Shabbat, here you go. Daf Kuf Hey, and I just read it today in the Chok Yisrael, Torah Lishma. HaMekareah begadav, one who rips his clothing is in anger. HaMefazer ma'arav, throws the money around the house. Mishaber kelim, breaks things. Bahamato, in anger. Giyeh ba'ainecha ko'oved avodah zara. When you see this person, you should know this person is oved avodah zara. Shneemar lo yeh becha el zar. V'amru raboteinu zar kol ha'koes, one who gets angry. Ein shchina chashuva kenegdo. God means nothing to him. Mishakeach talmudo, forgets his Torah. Mosif tipshut, adds stupidity. Ubeyadua shavunotav merubim mischiyotav. You show this guy has more averot than mitzvot. Not that he always has more averot. At the moment that he got angry, so much he messed up. At that moment, now he has more averot than mitzvot. That means if it was Rosh Hashanah that day, he would be automatically judged for Russia, as a Russia. Shneemar ubal haimar Rav Pasha v'amur rabotenu zal kol ha'koes, one who gets angry, im chacham, if he was originally a chacham, mistaleket mimeno, he leaves it. Minayin, how do we know this? Mimoshe Rabbeinu ume'elisha hanavi. Amar le'Eliyahu zachor latov le'Rav Yehuda. Eliyahu Hanavi told Rav Yehuda in the Gemara, Masechet Brachot, page 29. Lo tirtach, don't get upset at home. Ve'lo techeta, and don't sin to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ubezohar Parshat Tetzaveh says, the Zohar says, I barnash ka'is akar mine nishmata ila akadisha. He rips his holy soul from inside of him, lish mishre ba'atre sitra achara, to rest inside of him another neshama of the sitra achara.
That's what they say about Avodah when you made,
Veda'iu barnash, look at the words of the Zohar. This is a human, demared b'mared, that rebels against his creator. Ve'asir li itkarva ba'adeh. When a person gets angry, don't be in his 4 amot. Take a step back from him. He's contagious. Veda'iu toref nafsho. He rips his own neshama. The tarif nafshe v'asher batra elzah. He puts inside him an elzah, God forbid. Ki bama nechshavu. Now he's considered an altar for Avodah Zarah. Avodah Zarah ikre. He is himself considered an Avodah Zarah at that moment.
He himself is a
Yes,
sacrifice.
he himself. Uman de ishta'eime, one who hangs out with him at that moment. Kilu ithabai Avodah Zarah, as if he also served Avodah Zarah. Look at the words of the Zohar. The Avodah Zarah mamash sharia begave. Mamash Avodah Zarah is inside this guy now. Va'asir li istakla ba'anpo. You can't look at this guy's face. The Torah says don't point your head towards Avodah Zarah. It's talking about him. There's an Avera. If you go in the street and there's a church, you can't look at you can't turn your head to look at it. It's Avodah Zarah. It's worshipping a man.
What do you do if you're walking and just like boom, pops in your eye?
Try to move away. Al tifnu elelim. Yeah. So he's equating an angry human being to a church right now. Don't make yourself foreign gods. Look what the Zohar says. All impurities can be pured except for this one. Begin the misaev gufa migo urbar, because you are making yourself tameh from the in and from the outside. V'nafsha kula misaav, and all of his nefesh becomes tameh. And look, interesting. Kaas is gematria 150. Mikveh is gematria 151. And kanaf, remember I told you guys David ripped the kanaf also 150. That's why when you say I'm going to tell you guys a kavanah now, maybe you guys know this already, when you do the mitzvah of tzitzit, every morning, when you say hakanaf petil techelet, when you say kanaf, think of the name of the mikveh, Aleph K Yod K, and it's a tikkun of your kaas. Aleph K Yod K, Shem Kana. Aleph Lamed Fei, K, Hey and Hey, Yod, Vav Dalet, Hey and Hey. He knows it by heart already. And you think of that, when you say hakanaf petil techelet, kanaf, think of that kavanah, and you're doing a tikkun for your kaas. And there's nothing that the Ari gave to the Rav Chaim Vital to make tikkun in tefillah except for kaas. Nothing. Only for kaas. Kaas is a tough one. Especially you have kids, this, that, you can't hold yourself, wife, shalom bayit. What are you gonna do? If you see your wife and your kids as really it's Hashem speaking to you right now, are you gonna be angry at God?
They speak to me a lot.
They speak. We could relate, by the way. We could relate. It's a constant thing. ואפילו כד עתי אי ברנש ועקר ההוא זר מגבה מכל וכל העלמין ולבטא ישתול להתקדשה למשחי קדושת נשמתה קדישה עלה כדן ולוואי להתקדש. Because even if a person tries mix tikkun for kaas, halevai that he should be able to get back to that original level that he was before. Halevai if he could do that. Kaas is really tough.
It's a process.
Before you got mad?
Before you got angry, what you lost. כיוון דארקת מיניה זימנה חדה כמה יעביד ברנש עדית טוב לאתר. How much teshuvah you have to do to bring it back. Some tzaddikim used to dip in the mikveh 151 times. The Ben Ish Chai writes, for every time you get angry, you have to give $151 of tzedakah and dip in the mikveh 151 times.
Or just don't do it.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Alright? Next, kabdanut. Cheap. Krachabor. And you? Kabdanut is a person who holds grudges. He's cheap. He's kapdan. If the wife didn't wash the dishes tonight, he goes insane. If he didn't put the shoes away, he goes insane. Yeah, it's a kapdan. Kapdan is he's a stickler. He's very stickler. Everything always has to be perfect. The food has to be ready all the time. He's OCD.
What's wrong with
Kapdan, huh?
What's wrong with that?
This person is one step away from kaas. He always has to be nicely dressed. His clothes always have to be in the dry cleaners. Everything else. It's good to always be nice, but when it happens, when it doesn't happen, you gotta learn. Noseh avon.
It's out of your hands.
Hakabdanut hu avon hi anaf min hagava min hakas. So first comes ga'ava. His bait, he got ga'ava, got pregnant with Ka'as. Ka'as got pregnant with kabdanut.
And then the girls.
By the way, Shammai Hazaken, the friend of the Hillel Hazaken, you can't even call him Rebbe. That's how high level he is. Shammai Hazaken, he came back in a Gilgul just because he was a kabdan. As who? Ben Azahi.
That's why we go like Hillel, yeah?
Yeah, that's why. Because he was a stickler. Everything always had to be
Din,
Din, al pi adin, exactly. V'amru Chazal say in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, page 17, Man de kapid, who's a kabdan, who's always meticulous, kabdinan lein, shamayim, and they're meticulous with you. Ve'en mochalin lo avonotav, and they cannot forgive you. Shneimar noseh avon, you gotta hold the avon over al pesha. To who? Lemi shenoseh avon, to who himself is like that. If you yourself are like it, then they do that to you. If you're not, it doesn't work. Aval ha'ma'avi al midotav, one who passes over, Chai, he put me down. Chai, he did this to me. Chai, he got me upset. Chai, by Bukharin, this is a very big issue. One thing the in-laws tell the person, oh my, Tisha B'Av, Kriya, this, that's it. Tisha B'Av, Gog Magog, we're going to war. Kabdanut, okay, they said. And I spoke to one guy, he said, anyways they speak, so you might as well do, yeah, anything that happens anyways. Amru Chazal, Le'olam yivakesh adam rachamim. May a man always ask for mercy, b'chol yom, b'chol et. Constantly, always pray that Hashem should calm your kabdanut down. Yiten afad bepiu, fill your mouth with sand, allegorically. Yiten lemakeu lechi yizbach cherpa, hold the cherpa. Don't answer back. Ashrei mishu shomeh cherpato ve'eno mashiv. Blessed is the man who hears his cherpa, he doesn't answer back. V'ken yishai cherpa is mishu mivazeh otcha. Somebody made fun of you. I never forget, once in my life I came to sit in a shul. I was 14, 15, no, I was younger, 13, 11, 12. And I came, sat down, a family member, I was about to sit down, he pulls the chair from back in front of everybody. It was a Mid Gabriel show. Oh my, how he spilled my blood, this guy. I wanted the earth to open up and take me in. From the embarrassment, I had to run him. I was a kid. And as a kid, generally, also my mazal, whoever is born in the month of Cheshvan, they're naturally kabdanim. They're they always like to be, everything has to be, one thing has to be, everything lefi adin has to be. Cheshvan, akrav.
Perfection.
That's the perfectionists. They always, everything bothers them. Well, why did this happen? They have to learn how to let things go in life. And it was very hard for me to forgive this guy.
But he asked for forgiveness?
And he came after me to ask, but I was so embarrassed I had to run away. And I worked on myself. You work on yourself. Day in, day out. It was from Hashem.
Somebody come tell you don't want an idea how lucky you are, like you said.
Nah, nobody told me that. They laughed each other. So take. You gotta work.
Especially
and I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying you guys learning Sharei Kedusha and suddenly wish and poof. My daughter was wish and poof. She gets wings and that's it. She wakes the wish and it comes true. I'm just trying to give you awareness. This is a constant work. It's in work, it's in house, it's in the train, it's in this, it's in that. Praiseworthy is the person who misses the train, and you could say, I guess it was Kadosh Baruch Hu. It's not saying you. He takes out the Megillat Esther. He takes out.
You're early for the next one.
V'ken Yeshaya Omer, Goy Lamaki. I'm not. First of all, half of the stuff over here, 100% I'm talking to myself. That's for sure. Okay? Kach amru chachamim, kol ha'ma'avir ad midotav, whoever passes over his midot, ma'avarim lo hakol pshav. They pass all of his pshayim. Shneimar noseh avon v'ad pesha, amuch b'chupat Eliyahu, shelosha, 3 men, hakadosh baruch hu ohavam, 3 men God loves.
Oh, I'm one of them.
Mi she'eino mitkaes, one who doesn't get angry. Mi she'eino mishtaker, one who doesn't get drunk.
Okay. Okay. We're getting there.
We have ways to go, you think. Mi she'eino omed al midotav. One person is not makpid. Hey, so did it to me, say it there.
Let us go.
Let it go, let it go, let it go.
מה זאת אומרת לא עומד על מידותיו?
Huh? But he lets things go.
So it's good or bad?
It's good, he loves him. Hashem loves him.
לא עומד על מידותיו.
Yeah, she'eino omed. מוותר. Last paragraph, guys. V'sha'ad Rabbi Akiva. Who's greater than Rabbi Akiva, Rabotai? In Megillah, page 28, the Rabbi Nehunya Agadol. Rabbi Nehunya, if you guys don't know, is the original, the first Mekubal that we know of. He's even before Rabbi Eliezer Agadol, Rabbi Akiva. He was the eldest Mekubal of his generation. We have his book, by the way, Sefer HaBahir. He wrote the song, not the song. He wrote a prayer out of a koach. This is before Rabbi Akiva was a young man when he passed away.
Rabbi
Nehunya ben Akaneh. He has that special prayer in the beginning of every Gemara, that prayer to say when you go inside of it. He wrote that. Rabbi Nehunya ben Akaneh.
And he wrote also
Not Akanah. People make a mistake. It's not Rabbi Nehunya ben Akaneh. Ben Akaneh. Okay?
Was he 10 or one of the 10?
No, he wasn't one of the 10. He was Rabbi Nehunya Gadol. He was the spiritual sage of his generation. There was another one in his generation. He fasted for 40 years. Rabbi Tzadok. Every 40 years, the Beit HaMikdash shouldn't be destroyed. Until he didn't leave Yerushalayim, the Romans couldn't defeat Yerushalayim. To think the Roman Empire, their army that went all the way to England, defeated Gaul, France, Germany, little Jerusalem, they couldn't take down until
one person.
Rabbi Tzadok left, and Nechav Yerushalayim.
What happened? He died?
No, they took him out. He was very sick. He was fasting for 40 years. He was so skinny. When he used to swallow his saliva, they used to see the saliva go down his. It was literally bones and skin.
Yeah.
Like this skinny he was. His food he used to eat. He used to suck a date, just to suck the juice of the date. That was his food.
It's not a sin.
He did it on purpose. The Gemara says so. The Yerushalayim shouldn't be destroyed. And then he got very sick towards the end of his life. And one of the 3 wishes Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai asked Vespasianos was to give him a doctor. I think Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai knew what he was doing. You knew when he's going to come out, it's all going to be balagan. There was another rabbi like that, Tana, Rabbi Elazar Modai, Bar Kokhba's uncle. Until he didn't get killed, Beitar didn't fall. He was always davening, Beitar shouldn't fall. His own nephew killed him.
What's protecting us now? Or who's protecting us
The
now?
Torah that we learn.
Our Torah. It's not one individual, it's the group.
But they also have
I'm sure there's many Lashems out there. So I'm sure there's always, the Gemara and Sukkah says there's always these tzaddikim out there. There's many tzaddikim, don't worry about it. There's no generation. I mean, there is one tzaddik today, he's alive. They say he's big. I've seen some of his lectures. He knows the whole Torah. He's my age. He knows the Yanuka, they call her. Shlomo Yehuda Be'eri.
That's the one in Israel, right?
Yeah, he knows the whole Torah. The guy gives a speech, no book, no preparation. He asks the people in the thing, what subject today? One says mezuzah, one says Torah, one says korbanot. He takes it all. Ushol, 3 hours. He speaks. Everything source. He lives in. I'll tell you where he lives. When I go to Israel, I want to go see him. This guy has such midot. The guy's so humble. He won't leave the shul until everyone comes and asks them. Rebbe gives them advice. That he will not leave. Never raises the voice. He himself, he plays the piano. After the shiur, he plays and he sings with everyone. His name is Rav Shlomo. He's Sfaradi. He's Rav Shlomo Yehuda Be'eri. They call him the Yanuka. He lives in not Rishon LeZion, something Zion. No, a nice place. Something. I forget the place in Israel. Over there.
Savion, maybe.
No, Savion. Get out of here. Why not? Yeah. So, anyways, over there, so they say he's big stuff. He's very young. Meir Eliyahu is different. They're very different. Very different. You see, like the way he speaks, it's 2 different human beings. But Meir Eliyahu is very big Talmid Chacham. But with this, you see different. I don't know. Listen, I don't know. I just see whatever, this guy, he gave a shiur, he came to, what's crazy about him, not only Sfaradim come to his shiur, Hasidim You can't move in his shiur. They come in, he gives a shiur in the shul, 2,000 people come squeeze in just to hear him.
Wow.
I've never seen such a thing. They say they haven't seen such a thing from the time of the Baba Sali, they say. I don't know. So they say he might be the next rising star for Am Yisrael.
He's young.
When he was 12 years old, there was a tzaddik nistar in Bnei Brak called Avram Chai. He was Rav Yosef Dayan's friend. So he passed away not long ago, Avram Chai. He had one lazy eye like this. When people used to come asking for a bracha, he used to yell at him, scream. First he used to ask them for their name. What's your name? Then he started yelling at them. So Shamash would say, he would go home, he would yell at the person, spill his blood. Then he would go home daven to Hashem because this guy just went through the bizyonot. Hashem, please answer this guy's prayer.
There's a story of Vasali like that.
There's many. There's Rav Baruch Mishbush, the grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, who was his successor in Meshbush. He used to do the same exact thing. You see a person go through Din, he used to yell at him, scream at him, embarrass the guy. They used to leave Hashem Yibarach. The guy was supposed to die. I just killed him. Please let him live. Don't take his neshama away.
That was a business.
This is what they used to do.
That's their way.
This is Rav Avram Chai. He used to visit this kid this rabbi of Shalom Yehuda Be'eri when he was 12, 13 years old. He used to visit him as asking for a bracha. No, asking for a bracha. Like this. There is people. The generation never stays alone. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
There's never alman. There's never a generation that's an alman. They say some crazy stories about it. People go to him asking for a brachot. He gives a bracha and suddenly, or he gives him one sigula to do, like one thing. Like he'll tell a guy will come to him. He'll say to him, he'll start to cry with you. He say, "You want to go learn Torah for 3 hours, non-stop," or he'll tell a person. Some person came to him and said he had chronic pains in his body. Chronic pains. You don't have any. You cannot take anything for that. It's chronic. Comes and goes. So the guy wasn't through a lot of pain. He goes to the rabbi, the Shlomo Yehuda, and he says to him, and after the shur, Rebbe, I give me a bracha. I have to go to a doctor. They say now I need to do nituach at the surgery. He talks with him. The guy tells him, and he starts to cry with him. You're a Jew, you're a Ben Shel Melech, you have to go through this pain, never. You should never, you see he's the guy goes home, he says, I never felt another pain in my body. My wife says, what, you're supposed to go to surgery next week, what's going on? So I'm not here to vouch for anyone, I'm just saying that there's another rabbi in Israel, the Rabbi Komarna, hidden tzaddik. They say that when this kid was 7, 8 years old, he used to tell people lottery numbers to pick like this. He's alive today. You know the Kalav Rebbe, the one that passed away in Israel. They used to say he used to do crazy things in the kever of Rabbi Yoshua in Tzfat. He used to take people's names, go over there, daven for them, cry, and he used to make Yeshuot over there. There is things like that. The generation is never alman. The only question is, do you have a zchut to meet these people, know these people? How are you going to get a zchut? Im en man en mad. You have to ask for it. To ask for Hashem. Work for it. Absolutely. Let's do one last thing. So how do we get this? Rabbi Nechunya ben Akaneh, he asked him, he passed away very old. Bameh erachta yamim. You live 100, 200 years. So he asked him, what's your secret? Rebbe, what's the secret? The long life. What's the elixir of life? Amar lo, mi amai lo kibalti matanot.
So then he said gifts. No gifts.
I never took gifts from anyone. Soneh matanot yichyeh. I always tell this. Women have a big issue with this. Women. Stop expecting things from people. Learn never to expect anything in your life. No one
impose that on a woman?
Yeah.
It's
harder. Rachayim. This is the motto you have to live your life with. Nobody owes me anything.
Wow.
Velo amati al midotai. I never held a grudge. V'amru Chazal, Rav Huna bar Yeshua halash. Rav Huna, the son of Rav Yeshua, got sick. Amru, they asked him, my chazid, he got sick, he had clinical death. So they asked him, what did you see over there, Avraham? What did you see? אמר להו, הכי אמר קודשבריחו. הואיל ולא מוקים במילתה, לא תוקמו בעדה. שנאמר נושא עוון ולא הפשע. Because you forgive people easily, you don't hold a grudge, I'm gonna let you, give you another couple of years. I'll let you get up. That's what they told. It's a Gemara, מסכת ראש השנה. שאמרו ז"ל, רב נחמן חפר תל אחד, והיה רב אחי בר יושיע קבור שם. רב נחמן was digging something in a field, and suddenly there was a rabbi buried over there, an Amorah. And his name was Rav Achai Bar Yoshia. And he said he's full, his body was full. Full body.
Decomposed.
Ve'al kayam batzmodav, he didn't decompose, full body. Amar, he started to speak to him.
The body size? No.
He started to speak to the body.
The body?
The Rav Nachman, not Rav from Breslev. Nachman from the Gemara.
The body was
He started to speak with the body.
Okay.
Amar le, my high.
What's up?
What's up? Amar lehu, he told him, that's what's up, no.
I'm up.
Modern translation.
Mi amai lo amadeti al midotai. I never ever held a grudge, I always forgive. Velo tafasti bilibi kinat chaverai. I never got jealous. I saw this guy
The
got
body,
the body.
The body said-
Rav Achai Bar Yoshia.
Wait,
The body's talking now. I never held a kinah, I never held jealousy in my heart. Who's a nation like Am Yisrael? Tell me, is there any nation in the world that talks this kind of stuff? Tell me. And you can't write these things.
They make movies.
You can't even make a movie out of this. Urekev atzamot kinah. The disintegration of a body comes from jealousy. V'amru Chazal Maaseh Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer Hagadol. He was the Rebbe of Rabbi Akiva. He went to daven by the teva. There was no rain, so they used to tell the big rabbi to go daven. Hashem should give you the rain. Back then they used to see Hashem chik-chak. You don't know rain, Rebbe, could you come pray? Boom, the rain comes.
Why we don't have that now like this?
You know, there was one rabbi, he passed away 2 years ago, I think. He's Rav Sharei the Belitsky. He was a Zakan HaMekubalim in Bnei Brak. He was. He used to say that the generation, our generation is chaval that we stop doing this halachot. Shulchan Aruch brings down this halachot. How do you do it if there is no? Today we don't need rain. Amalek. It's all Amalek. Anyways, that's the point right now. So Rabbi Eliezer went to daven for the rain. Lo na'ana. He didn't get answered. Yarad Rabbi Akiva started to pray. Na'ana. Hitchil kol ha'am me'anenin. Everybody started to talk. The student, Vita, מה זה? יצא בת קול. The echo came out from the שמיים. מפני שזה מעביר על מידותיו. Rabbi Akiva forgives easy. Rabbi Eliezer doesn't forgive easy. He's more dean. That's why they call him a shamoti, student of שמיים. ואמרו חז"ל, אין העולם מתקיים. Look at this, guys. אלא במי שבולם פיו. The world stands in the honor of someone who shuts his mouth during a fight.
During what?
During a fight. We gotta teach this to our children, right? When you're in a fight with your siblings, whoever's quiet first, he's the Giroi. Yeah, Giroi.
He's a hero.
He's the hero. שנאמר תולה הארץ על בלימה. The world stands at nothing. Nothing. What is it? Nothing. And a person who answers back, nothing. Rabbi Abahu Omer al mi shemutzim atzmo kemi sheino, a person who makes himself like he doesn't exist. I just also want to explain to you that there's a big difference into making yourself like somebody who doesn't exist and being depressed.
Humbled. You're humbled.
He's not talking on making yourself a trapka. He's not talking to make yourself like Garvey. Everyone take from me, steal from me, beat me up. That's not what he's talking about. This is a person who knows his worth and at the same time is able to give because he wants to be like Hashem. That's the point over here. Not to make yourself like, come, open my house, take everything. That's not what he's talking about over here.
It's not a utopia.
It's not to kill yourself. It's to break yourself.
It's not communism.
Bunch of breakers.
The Tanu Rabbanan. We learned in the Braita, Ne'elavin ve'inam olvin. One who get hurt but don't hurt back. Shom'im cherpatan. They hear their cherpa. Look at cherpa. The first 3 letters is rapach. The 288 sparks. They hear their cherpa and they don't answer back. Aleim HaKatuv Omer v'ohavav kesed Hashem shmerdo. And then the pasuk says they are like the sun that comes out in Gevurah. V'amar Eliyahu Hanavi Zachor Latov le'olam haveh aluv. Learn to be from the people who don't answer back. לבני אדם, to people, ולבני ביתך יותר מכולם. And the people of your house more than everyone. ואמר אבא אליהו זכור לטוב, ונקלה רבתי סופר קיי, לעולם אין התורה מתפרשת, אלא במי שאינו קפדן. The true explainers of the Torah are those people who are not קפדנים. ואף אני, and also I, איני נגלה, I don't reveal myself, אלא למי שאינו קפדן. Only to a person who's not קפדן.
I understand now.
Eliyahu will only reveal himself to a rabbi, to a tzaddik, if he has that midah that he forgives easy. But if he's one of those tzaddikim who hold the grudge, hold their honor, that Eliyahu Navi does not mitgalet.
You're not going to be Gadaev.
One sentence just to start off the next week, and because I want to read this to you because this is very important for these 6 weeks of Shavavim. Now, you don't have to open, just listen. I'm just do one sentence. Ha'atzvut, depression, sadness. Goremet miniat ha'avodah is the biggest roadblock to do avodat Hashem. V'kiyum ha'mitzvot, doing the mitzvot, ubitul esek ha'torah, and stopping you from learning Torah. V'kavanat ha'tfilah, umevatel machshava tova la'avodat Hashem, v'hi shar hatchalat girui hasada yisrael. This is the beginning. This is how the Yetzirah always starts with you.
Beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
Oh, I like that. I like that title. Beginning of the end.
So we're gonna stop over here. We're gonna say Rabbi Hananiah, but Rabotai, the Shalom starts Tehillim. My advice every day: Tehillim, 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 and some more Tehillim. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen ve'amen. Rabbi Hananiah.